I feel like it doesn't matter what crowd we're around, where we're going, she's never afraid to be herself. Whether that's to bust out in song or random dance moves, or like we'll be going out to eat somewhere and I'll like put on jeans and a nice shirt. She's like, I'm wearing sweatpants and a hoodie. Like, and that's not who I am, that's who she is, and she's not afraid to be that, you know. Like, a lot of people think, oh, she's a pageant queen, beauty queen, she's gonna dress up everywhere she goes, but she's not scared to just be who she is.
My favorite thing would probably be his leadership role in our relationship and out of our relationship. He's really stern. I feel like that's too weird. Like, he makes his decisions really well, and I'm not good at making decisions, so I like how he'll make the decisions for us, but in the right way. He's a really good leader.
So I met Brittney for like a whole 2 years before she even knew Dennis Blackerby existed in the world. I followed her on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook when she became Miss Henderson State, and because I mean you're a single college guy and she's Miss Henderson, so that's what you do. And so she would come to midweek, which is our Wednesday free meal at MBSF, and the very first time she came, my best man Marshall was like nudged me on the shoulder and was like, dude, that's Miss Henderson. And so I'm not sure if I had the crush on her or Marshall had the crush on her at that time, but like it was, and so I began to follow her and stuff like that. Well, that same semester, my parents came and fed the MBSF, and she met my parents. And I posted a picture of me and my parents on Instagram, and she commented. And I was on cloud nine with the fact that Brittney Humphrey commented on my Instagram picture. And so I took that as an opportunity to direct message her on Instagram. And that was in 2014, and I got a teetotal of 0 replies from her in 2014. And then in 2015, she made some really godly changes in her life and began coming to our Tuesday night worship service. And I greeted her a few times, and I kind of got to know her through that, and the rest is history after that.
In the fall of 2015, I began grad school at Henderson and decided to start going to MBSF, the college ministry on campus, and decided to start going regularly and going to the worship service encounter on Tuesday nights. And I remember walking in, I didn't know anyone, so I was really shy and didn't want to go by myself, so I always went with a friend. And I remember walking in one time and Dennis said hey to me as we walked through the worship center and went to sit down, and one of my friends actually made the remark, he's kind of cute, and I just looked at him and I thought, yeah, she's right, he is cute, but I didn't really want to like go for him or anything because I was scared and I didn't know anybody. And after that, I started going every Tuesday, and he messaged me one night on Facebook and said, hey, I know a lot about you, your platform, and like what you do. You go and speak places, and I just wanted to see if you would like to come speak to my students, my youth group, and it kind of just went from there. Here we are.
Our first date, she was late, and that was okay with me. My mom was mad at me on our first date because I didn't pick her up. She came to my house. She was wearing a very long cardigan, a floral pattern shirt, black pants, and like suede heels. I remember everything she was wearing. She had her hair down super straight. She was wearing her favorite perfume that I like.
I was running late, of course, because I wanted to look the best and like have my makeup right and my hair right. And Dennis was so, like he still is, like, it's fine, you know, just get here when you get here. And so I went to his house, and we drove to Little Rock. We actually drove to Benton first and stopped there and ate at Colton's. And then we went to Little Rock bowling. And I knew, obviously, from Arkadelphia to there is at least an hour drive. This was my chance to really see what his life is about, learn about him, see what he's pursuing. And so the whole way there, we did not stop talking, got to know one another.
Like, I mean, she just like talked my ears off, and I loved that. I'd never really went on a date with a girl that was like that. She was just not afraid to talk at all. We went to Colton's, and I could definitely tell that she was very nicely saying that night that I don't want to come to Colton's again. I loved there, and she just didn't really, but she kind of picked around on her food, and we went bowling. She got a strike, and I remember the first strike, we did the awkward like high five where our fingers kind of lingered together all the way down from the high five, and it was great. She ended up coming over to the house afterwards, and we watched a couple movies, we held hands, and then she drove home, and I knew then that I wanted to date her.
So our first kiss, we had been texting and hanging out with one another probably 3 weeks by this point. I can't remember, maybe a month. And I think we had left MBSF, and at the time I was staying with a friend in town. And so of course I would stay up late with her talking about him, and of course the question would be, when would we kiss for the first time? And when's he gonna ask me to be his girlfriend, and all those kind of girl talks. And we left MBSF, and I think we went to McDonald's to get a coffee because he was gonna stay up late studying for a test or something, and then I was just gonna drop him off and let him study, and I was gonna go back to my friend's house. And I made the remark to him at McDonald's, I'm just wondering when you're gonna kiss me. So it was kind of like all me.
And she just blatantly says, I'm just wondering when you're gonna kiss me. And I mean, I was floored by the fact that she had the boldness to tell me that. And well, then it's just like your man pride's like, I'm doing it now, you know, like I'm kissing her. And so we went back to my, at the time we were living in a trailer park. And so we were standing in the driveway at the Majestic Trailer Park, and she was about to get in her car, and I just kind of grabbed her and kissed her. It was it was great. I mean, like, I may have been a little pressured into it, you know, but she was ready, and so I wanted to kiss her, and it all started at the trailer park driveway.
Is a pretty crazy story. It was a Wednesday morning, and it was a very busy week because it was Valentine's that week, his birthday, my birthday. The Miss Henderson pageant was that week, and I was emceeing and he was performing. It was just a very busy, stressful week for both of us. Not only did we have all that, but we had school and work too. So Wednesday morning, I woke up to a message from him that said, call me on your way to work. I have something to tell you. And I said, well, I'm kind of lounging around right now before I have to get ready for work. I could call you. And he said, no, wait till it's on your way to work. Well, I had decided to get up and go to Walmart and run a few errands before I went to work. And so I called him around 8:15, and I could tell that he was in the car going somewhere, but I thought that he was going on hospital visits with his pastor. I didn't think to ask him, where are you going or why are you in the car? And another strange thing is I never go to work early. Like, I never would make it a point to be there 30 minutes early, but that day I decided to go into work 30 minutes early because I had a lot to do at work.
I made some arrangements to have one of my groomsmen, Kane, come with me the next day, and so my plan, I had this really sweet car that I had borrowed for Valentine's Day, and I was going to roll up to her house. I knew exactly what time she left for work. I was going to roll up to her house, just propped up on the car in a suit with one of her favorite songs, Give Me Jesus, playing. And when she was going to walk out, I was going to get down on one knee and quote Solomon 6:10, which is just like, her beauty is like the rise of a new morning, like a new dawn, because it was early in the morning. And then I was just going to propose. She's going to say yes, going to go to work. I was going to back to work. It's going to be great. Well, the one morning, the entire year that she chose to go to work early was the morning I showed up to try to propose to her. And so that plan just went down the drain real quick. And so it turned out that Kane was like, didn't you just ask her to be your girlfriend through a coffee cup? And I was like, yeah. He's like, let's go to Starbucks and do that. Well, I was afraid she was going to see me on campus, so I'm on pins and needles the whole time. She pulls out in front of us, she saw us. And then we drive by her, parked in her car, eating her breakfast. I think she saw us then. And then I walk into her office,
And I remember I was at my desk looking down at my phone, and my coworker said, "Hey," but I didn't hear a student say "hey" back, because I work on campus with students. That's a typical conversation. Coworkers say "hey, good morning," and the students say something back, and then discuss whatever the student's there for. And so I looked up, and it was him with some coffee. And when we both lived in the same town before he moved to Sheridan, he would bring me coffee all the time. So I really thought that he was bringing me coffee because I was having a very stressful, hard week, and he was just being nice and cheering me up. And his friend walked in with the camera to get pictures of all this happening, and I still didn't think anything of it. And so he sat the coffee down on my desk, and I just looked at him and told him thank you, because like I said, I thought he was just bringing me coffee and being sweet. And he said, "No, read the cup." And he actually asked me to be his girlfriend on a Starbucks cup. He said Dennis's girlfriend ? And on the cup it said Dennis's wife ? And I don't remember anything after that because I was crying so hard. All I remember him saying is something from Song of Solomon. That's all I remember. I don't remember anything else. I bawled like a baby, and he got down on one knee. And of course I said yes, and it was just a very emotional, like, can't believe this is happening kind of time at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then we got up and took pictures, and here we are.